This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome inside the Spotlight Omaha podcast, where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making a difference in our community. We are brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your company's not showing up at the top of search engine optimization, maybe your website doesn't convert to mobile, Pixel Fire Marketing's entire team will ignite your social media presence, entice your ideal client, and engage your brand online. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details today. Joining us in the Pyramid Contractor Studio is a returning visitor, Julie Shrader with Innocence and a new guest, Payton Evans with Catholic Charities. Ladies, thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Julie, as we mentioned, you've been here before. Can you remind people what Innocence Freed is and what you're doing to help women in the Omaha community?
Yeah. So we serve girls as minor children, as well as adult women, and help them with sexual exploitation and human trafficking, even helping them get out, and a lot of case management. We do aftercare classes and groups, and a lot of one-on-one mentoring.
And obviously, we talked about this last time you're here, that also involves a village, help other people helping out as well. And Payton, that's kind of where Catholic Charities comes in. Can you explain to people what exactly Catholic Charities does and how you're helping women that have been trafficked as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So Catholic Charities has a domestic violence shelter that also serves human trafficking victims, as well as those who experience sexual assault. It's a 90-day program, and we have a confidential shelter. So our location is not disclosed to the public or anybody else. And so we provide not just a safe place for our survivors to stay, but also provide that case management. We get them connected with a housing advocate. We have a community reintegration program that helps them establish their new home, get all the things they need to fill that new home, as well as providing support groups. So a lot of different things we do to meet the clients where they're at when they come to us.
I want to talk about the 90-day process. Obviously, it takes a while to get back on your feet, to find housing. Why is 90 days the requirement, and how quickly are people? Obviously, it's not you're out on your own, and thanks for being here for 90 days. It's probably a process after that. How quickly are people kind of starting to see stability after that 90-day process?
So initially we started as a 30-day program, which we found very quickly you cannot get a whole lot done in 30 days.
Sure.
A lot of the people coming to us, their IDs, their birth certificates have been destroyed. They've been isolated from their support systems. So extending to 90 days gave people a little bit more breathing room to first work on regaining their mental stability, then begin working on jobs, housing, things like that. So it gives them not only time to stabilize themselves, but then begin dreaming bigger. And so after those 90 days is when they become a part of our community reintegration program, which is where we'll provide, kitchenware, shower curtains, anything you think of that you need for a new home that really starts adding up. But then we continue our contact with them. So we will be in communication, providing case management, that one-on-one advocacy, as well as support groups.
You keep saying case management. Can you explain what case management is?
Yeah, absolutely. So case management is when one of our advocates sits down one-on-one with one of our survivors. And what they essentially do is they do goal setting. And so they're sitting down every 3 to 4 days and basically establishing what the survivor sees as their goals. And it's very important that we give them the determination to establish what those goals are. And then it's our jobs as advocates to say, how can we help you attain those goals? And then the checking in every 3 to 4 days means that we're able to kind of check the progress of where they're at, but also continue to provide resources and guidance in what they need.
Because obviously, a kitchen frying pan is nice to have, a shower curtain's nice to have, but there's also the psychological aspect of it too, right? And it's escaping from the abuser or the person that was controlling their lives to most degrees, and probably for the first time thinking about goals, thinking about themselves, maybe their children, and how that they're going to provide for them and things like that. Is that usually the biggest hurdle for a lot of people coming into Catholic Charities shelter?
I would say the mental and emotional toll that domestic abuse, human trafficking, sexual assault causes people is certainly the biggest barrier, and the most important one that we work with people to try to overcome. Crisis counseling, there is a lot of mental health issues that arise, and we make sure that our advocates aren't necessarily mental health professionals, but we refer out to those who
Sometimes
are.
just somebody to listen.
Somebody to listen. Yeah, supportive listening, and the benefits you get out of that goes so far, because oftentimes these women haven't been believed when they have shared their story. They've been isolated from people and having the ability to speak to others. And one of the tools that these traffickers or the abusers use is cutting off all forms of support and communication with the outside world
As a form of control.
as a form of control. And so one of the things we really work on is just rebuilding trust in people, really getting them to see that there are people on your side, because rightfully
because somebody will believe you.
Yes. And we've had people that come up to us and tell us, I hear you saying that I'm great, I have worth, and I don't believe it yet, but I'll get there. And it's one of those where the longer you work with people and the longer you reaffirm their value, you do see things slowly start to change.
Because once somebody starts believing in themselves, the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. We can tell people till we're blue in the face that, you are amazing, you can do amazing things, but until they internalize it and truly start seeing that, that's when we see the beautiful things happen.
Julie, it's obviously a really exciting time in Omaha right now. The College World Series is going on, but that brings in a lot of alcohol, bad decisions, late nights, people from out of town. How is Innocence Freed helping people that maybe be in a trafficking situation around downtown Omaha right now?
Yeah. Well, we are getting the word out that we are available for phone calls. People can email us as well if they're more comfortable with that. But we have an ad going on 5 different radio stations right now, and it is just awareness. What if you are at the game and you see something suspicious? What can you do? Here's what you do, and then if you happen to be a victim right now, here's also what you can do. So there's like 5 different ads, 5 different stations. So we're really grateful that we were able to partner with the Close Mentor Omaha for that and sponsor that. That was a blessing. So when we get the phone calls, when we get those coming our way, whether
can you
even
plug that phone number real fast?
Yeah,
the phone number. Can you plug the phone number? What's the phone number called?
Oh yeah, sure. 402-882-3733.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. When we talk about, listen, trafficking is a topic that's coming up and being talked about at a much bigger pace now than it was before. And it's a lot because what folks like you at Innocence Freed are doing in a global campaign standpoint. But you said if you see something, can you define what people should be looking for? Maybe some evidence. As obviously not somebody involved, but maybe witnessing something going on.
Right. Well, I'd like to say that the tattoos would be, I think 10 years ago, that might've been the case, but tattoos they're being different. There's actually skin carvings now with knives, things like, so you can't really see as well.
Sure.
Plus they're not putting tattoos on places where others
visible.
can notice because of that reason. So I always tell people, if you see anyone, now it could even be a woman, it's not always a man, but generally it is, or a younger or a boy, I say boy, 17 years old,
Sure.
who is doing all the talking, actually controlling, where the girl or the woman or the victim, whatever sex they might be, looks very submissive. It looks almost like a beaten dog. That's probably the best way for me to explain it.
Sure.
And but at the same time, they can also be someone that you don't notice because maybe the victim is more outgoing than you might think.
Right.
So depending upon the situation, every situation is different. It's so hard. But a lot of the red flags are, especially if you see someone much older than the girl there, maybe he's got his arm around her. It looks strange. And he says, well, I'm her father. But you look at that and think, why would a father touch her that way?
Yep.
Or look at her that way? Or again, it's such an overbearing figure over another, a control. So even if your gut, I tell people go with your gut. A lot
We're,
of times that's what you do. But
we're catching up with Julie Shrader from Innocence Freed and Payton Evans from Catholic Charities here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing Pyramid Contractors. Payton, I want to go back to Catholic Charities for just a quick moment here. You mentioned you guys have a shelter available for people that are looking for escape and a place to kind of call them their own for at least 90 days. What does that situation look like if somebody is looking to come to the shelter? What does that process look like, and then what happens after that?
Yeah, so in order to get into our shelter, like I had mentioned prior, it is a confidential location. So we come into contact with all of our survivors or clients through our 24/7 hotline, which phone number is 402-558-5700. And there's an advocate on standby to answer that phone at any time of the day. And what they'll do is they'll conduct a screening. Pretty much, can you explain to me what's happening?
Sure.
What's your situation? Making sure that we would be a good fit for them. And from there, if they are a good fit for our shelter, if they are escaping human trafficking, if they are a victim of domestic violence, we'll actually send them to a safe location. We'll give them an address that's located away from our shelter. And from there, we'll send a secondary vehicle to pick them up and then take them to our shelter. And that's to avoid them being trailed, things like that. And then when they get to our shelters, when we begin, gathering demographic information and start having those first conversations of what goals do you want to achieve while you're here? What strengths can you identify in yourself? But really our first contact is through that hotline. And so getting that number out to as many people, as Julie said, is very, very important.
I want to ask, because you said make sure that Catholic Charities is the right fit. If somebody isn't the right fit, what does that kind of look like? And are you guys working with maybe another nonprofit in the area that helps out? Maybe somebody that's in a different situation than what Catholic Charities can help.
Right, absolutely. So one of the things that we do look for when we're conducting screenings is that our program does offer programming for survivors. So we do safety plans. We do adverse childhood experience evaluations, programming really specified for survivors. So if we do get someone that calls that maybe their primary issue is homelessness, and that's not to diminish homelessness by any means, we'll refer them out to a shelter that would be a better fit, because our programming wouldn't necessarily be very beneficial for that person, right. But also we only have 10 rooms. And so it's very important for us.
It's not about discouraging. It's about making sure you're helping out the right people and getting the people that need help the right direction.
Exactly. And we do find too that if another shelter is safe for them to go to, we'll typically refer out, because our shelter is very unique in that we are confidential.
And maybe, I hope the answer to this is we haven't had to deal with this, but I have a feeling it's probably not going to be the case. What happens if it's a minor?
So our shelter does serve 19 and over.
Okay.
So in those instances, we refer out to other amazing programs like Innocence Freed. We've worked with Youth Emergency Services before. So if you are over 19 and you have children, we absolutely take them in the shelter. But as our primary victim coming in, we serve those that are 19 and above.
Obviously, a nonprofit like Catholic Charities runs off donations and people being able to make donations for whether it be clothing or financial. If somebody's looking to make a donation to Catholic Charities, how can they go about doing that?
Yeah, so on our webpage, www.catholiccharities.org/Omaha, we do have many links there. There's an overall donation to just Catholic Charities in general, where you can make financial donations. Otherwise, you can make donations specifically to the shelter. We do have a needs list posted there, kind of like an Amazon wish list.
Sure.
It's got toiletries, just like you said, all of the donations we need to help run our program.
Julie, as far as Innocence Freed is concerned, do you guys have any events coming up or fundraising events that people can attend?
Yeah, on August 3rd, we have a cornhole tournament, which is a fundraiser. It's going to be a blast. It's $100 per team. It is at Heavy Brewery in Gretna.
Yeah, right up 203rd and 370.
Yep. And that is a Sunday. It starts at 2.
And then you have something coming up in
August 2nd.
Yeah, and
we have
September. You have something else, correct?
Nope, just October 2nd.
Okay.
Yep, October is our gala at the Astro Theater.
Okay.
It's not in the outside amphitheater; it's on the inside. And right now we're seeking business sponsors and individual sponsors for that. Tickets are on sale now.
Mm-hmm.
And
how much do they cost?
Right now it's $100 a ticket,
Okay.
$900 for a table, and then sponsorships go up from there.
How could people become a sponsor?
Yeah, they can either reach out to me, Julie at innocencefree.org,
Mhm.
or they can go to the website and you'll see the different links. It'll take you there to innocencefree.org.
Okay. And again, we're catching up with Julie Shrader of Innocence Freed and Payton Evans of Catholic Charities here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. Payton, is there anything we haven't covered about Catholic Charities that people should know about if they want to become involved or if they are seeking help?
I would also include that Catholic Charities, while we do have a domestic violence shelter, we also have a number of other programs.
Mhm.
So we do have a market choice pantry that runs twice a week at our location, our administrative building off 90th and Maple. We have an immigration program as well as a micro business program. So we do other things aside from domestic violence, and we try to kind of connect them all. Like our clients will shop in our pantry and things like that. But we do more than just serve survivors.
What does that pantry look like? Does it cost? Is it free? Like,
It's absolutely free.
Okay.
And it's a market choice pantry, meaning it's kind of set up like a grocery store to give
Sure.
people that
That's what I
experience.
was asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you get a grocery cart. You go up and down the aisles with a volunteer, and then at the end they weigh your food, and then you're off your way through the big double doors that open like a grocery store.
Why-
I've seen you took me for a tour. It's really
Yes.
great.
Why the
Yeah.
weighing system?
Just so we know how
much has
much,
gone
yeah,
out.
how much
Okay,
is going
sure.
out for our records, essentially. Yeah.
Julie, same question. Is there anything about Innocence Freed that we haven't mentioned that people should know about?
Well, we do a lot of different things. We will help survivors if they're part of our program with a utility bill, and it is on an as needed basis, and we vet it very well just to make sure that it's something that will actually help her to the next level instead of keeping her down. It's that hand up, not that hand out. So
Yeah.
we are very
Mhm.
careful about that. And we help with transportation. We help with food as well. We can help direct, which makes this relationship great because we can't do everything,
Mhm.
but there are other people
Nobody
we can
can,
partner
by the way.
with, right?
Yeah.
That can do those things that we can't do. And, but we also offer, we'll help them also get furniture. We do have a membership with the Furniture Project as well, and can take them shopping for furniture. We provide clothing. We will provide them with whatever that they need to help them get what they need.
If somebody wants to donate furniture, are you guys in a position where you guys can accept that?
We are actually looking. We've been looking
Okay.
for a little bit for a storage unit.
That's something we talked about last time.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm
yeah.
asking.
So I'm still looking for that storage unit that is large enough,
Mhm.
but that one that isn't as pricey.
Peyton, we talked about this with Julie last time she was here, but I want to ask you, when you take over something that is so unique and I guess not unique, but so time consuming, like being an advocate for domestic violence and helping women that are going through this, why is this your passion?
Oh gosh.
Mhm.
I have always just been driven to help others. I was originally from Arkansas, and my family fled here due to domestic violence. And so
Sorry to
it's
hear that.
always been kind of near and dear to my heart. I knew an 8 to 5 sitting at an office desk wasn't going to work for me. So
Sure.
I do thrive a little bit in the chaos as well. But really, it's what fills my cup. It's what I get to smile about when I leave work. And not every day is great, and not everyone is a success story. But
Sure.
knowing that I'm able to put myself out there and do whatever I can is really what keeps me going.
I have to ask, when somebody leaves the shelter, or I guess for lack of a better term, graduates the program, are they looking to turn around and maybe get back involved and help others? Or is it more oftentimes than not, they're just trying to get as far away from the situation they left as they can?
I would say it really depends on the individual. We do currently have on staff a individual that went through our program a few years ago. So
incredible.
she's now an advocate that works with us. But as you said, there are some people that go a different direction.
It's probably best for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But there are those who just the advocacy piece sticks with them, and so then they in turn try to do that moving forward.
Well, ladies, thank you for all you do in the Omaha community and helping those that you
Absolutely.
do. If you need any more information, one more time, plug the website for us.
Yes, it is ccomaha.org, and our hotline is 402-558-5700.
Julie.
Our phone number is 402-882-3733. And our website is innocencefree.org.
If you or somebody you know is going through domestic violence or in a trafficking situation, there is help. Please reach out. There are tons of nonprofits like the two we're talking today that are out there to help you. And if they're not if Innocence Freed or Catholic Charities can't help you, they can definitely find somebody who can. Please reach out today, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
Thanks
for having us.
This has been the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing Pyramid Contractors. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new business owner here in Omaha at 11 a.m. Thanks for joining. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We'll see you in the morning.